going on, guys? Bobby Betts Fights. Back to go over UFC Singapore. It's been a 2-week hiatus for me. I've been sick. My kid's been sick, so I apologize for not being able to get the breakdowns out there. A little short of time, so going to try a different format for this video. I don't really have time to do much editing, so we are going to let the internet and technology help us out this time. So hopefully go ahead and share a screen here. We'll just go through the entire card for UFC Singapore. It's Max Holloway facing off against the Korean Zombie, and what we're hoping to not end up as an execution, because that's how it's shaping up, and the betting lines reflect that. So I'm not going to go over a recap this time. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've been getting slaughtered these past couple of weeks. Just been insert the Adrian Bronner gif. Like I'm getting cooked. You head over to betmma.tips if you want to go see the slaughtering that has been the last couple of weeks. But luckily on the year, we're still up over 16 units and looking to get off the schneid, hopefully, in UFC Singapore. So as always, follow on the socials at Bobby Betts Fights. Down on the left-hand corner, you can go ahead and see it right there. That's going to be the handle for Twitter, YouTube, and betmma.tips. So let's go ahead and see if I can figure out how to operate this thing here. Share a screen. And we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So we'll go ahead and start off with the first fight, which is Seung-Woo Choi versus Jarno Aarons. So if we go ahead and open it up, take a look here and break it down. I mean, Seung-Woo Choi, 10-6, coming off a couple of losses, looking to get back in the win column. Jarno Aarons just coming off a tough fight against the always tough William Gomis. And in this fight, it's pretty tough. Aarons is coming in as an underdog. He's sitting around plus 130 right now. Choi's right around minus 150, minus 155. So he's the favorite. When you look at this fight, if it plays out on the feet, it's going to be close. I do like Aarons. I like his, Muay Thai striking, his kickboxing. Seung-Woo Choi is a good striker in his own right, but he is susceptible to getting clipped. We saw that in the Caceres fight. And the last time out, decided to stand and bang with Mike Trizano, who, in my opinion, isn't the most devastating striker that's out there, but ended up getting that double knockdown, which is crazy. You rarely see that. Both guys landed at the same time and dropped each other, but Seung-Woo Choi ended up getting dropped multiple times in that fight and ended up being finished. But he's got solid wrestling. If you go back and take a look at the Guido Canetti fight, even in the Caceres fight, he was able to mix it in well before he ended up getting finished. But Jarno Aarons doesn't have the best takedown defense, so I'd say the path to victory of Seung-Woo Choi's fights with a smart fight IQ is to go ahead and try to go to that well after earning the respect on the feet and mix it up to keep Aarons guessing. Aarons does have a good judo background, and he can hit some of those throws. He did against Gomis, and he has in his past fights. He's a solid fighter with a solid background. Both of these guys have fought good competition in the past. I'd say Seung-Woo Choi has had, a mixed bag as far as the UFC. I mean, you got guys like Guido Canetti, but then again, you got guys like Alex Caceres who are knocking on the door of the top 15 of the division. So definitely fought some of the who's who. In this fight, I'm going to go with Jarno Aarons just because I think he's got more of a shot in this fight than the odds reflect. I think if it stays standing, I mean, Choi's shown that he's susceptible to getting clipped, like I mentioned before. Caceres fight, Trizano fight, and then you can even go back to Josh Cooley about who dropped him in those fights. So I think Jarno has a chance, and if he can use his takedown defense to keep it standing and not just play jiu-jitsu off of his back when he gets taken down and look to get back up to his feet, I think he's got a real shot. So I'm going to go with Jarno Aarons in that fight. Next fight's an interesting one, Na Liang versus J.J. Aldridge. I mean, Na Liang is a quick and fast starter and burns real hot until she doesn't. And the fire gets extinguished really quick. J.J. Aldridge, on the other hand, coming off I think it's a 2-fight skid between Blanchfield and, the Queen of Violence she lost to, who actually just lost, Ariana Lipsky. Forgot her name for a second. But, I mean, in this one, Aldridge is a huge favorite. She's like minus 1,000 she opened up. I mean, she's minus 600 now. Na Liang's plus 400. I don't really see where J.J. Aldridge, she doesn't have much finishing equity. She's pretty much a decision fighter. Na Liang, like I said, burns really hot, but she can put herself in really awful positions. But, I mean, on the feet, she is part of one of the most exciting fights of all time, in my opinion, because just of the magnitude against Ariana Carniosi. I'm pretty sure that fight was the first fight back in front of a live crowd after COVID. And those two just went at each other, and she dropped her on the feet in the first and went for the finish. I mean, it ended up going, like I said, burns hot until the fire gets extinguished. She ended up getting finished. But, in this one, I find it tough to believe that JJ Aldridge should be this big of a favorite. I mean, I think she's more steady fighter. I think she's got better fight IQ, but she looked horrible against Ariana Lipski her last time out. I think Liang has a good shot in this fight if you want to take a flyer on her, but I'll side with JJ Aldridge just because the odds were closer. I feel like I'd be siding with her, but I think they're just so blown out and ridiculous. Like, it's a much closer fight than what the odds suggest. So I'll go with JJ Aldridge because she's steady. She can work behind the jab. She had a good showing against Erin Blanchfield, even mixed in some takedowns against Erin Blanchfield, who's also on this card that we'll talk about. But the odds are ridiculous. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Odds are ridiculous, going with JJ Aldridge. Next fight, we got Billy Goff versus Yusaku Kinoshita. Billy Goff, love him. Junkyard dog. Gets dropped in all of his fights and works his way back and ends up winning. Love that. And UFC.com is showing a 0-inch reach for Billy Goff. So that might be a problem for him if that is true. But that's just wildly incorrect. Not entirely sure what his reach is, but he's facing Yusaku Kinoshita, Japanese Connor. Before he got into the UFC, pretty much undefeated. His only loss was because he grabbed the cage while he was trying to stomp out his opponent's head, which was legal in that fight. But the illegal part was he was grabbing the cage to do it. So pretty much a win on his record. You can count that because his opponent was down and out after being dropped. Last time out against Adam Fugit, showed a little bit of quit after having some adversity. He hit Fugit with a couple of shots, but then Fugit touched him with a couple of shots and then worked in his grappling. And it looked like Kinoshita was either gassed or just didn't want to be there, or was shocked that Fugit was, the one doing the hammering and not him. So great hammer, Kinoshita, not a good nail. And in a fight against Billy Goff, a guy who's going to mix in the wrestling, he's going to get in close, he's going to dirty box, he's going to make it ugly. That's a huge problem. That is a huge problem to have. So I think in this fight, how it's going to play out, I mean, Kinoshita is going to be on the balls of his feet. He's quick. He'll probably catch Goff. Goff will probably go down. But if he doesn't put his lights out, Goff's going to keep fighting. And the longer the fight goes and the more ugly it gets when they start getting tired, the more it's going to start leaning towards Billy Goff, because he's going to be in close. He's going to be wrestling, and he's going to be constantly working. And when he smells blood in the water, he can get really violent. Great finishing prowess with the ground and pound, good elbows. If you go back and watch his regional fights, I really like Billy Goff. In this one, I mean, the odds plus 120, Billy Goff's hanging around. He was bet down all the way to plus 107, a little bit of buyback on Kinoshita, who got all the way down to minus 135, in the minus 150 range right now. I'm going with Billy Goff on this one, and I got a wager on him for 1 unit. At plus 125 is what I got in at him. So really like him in this. I think he's going to face that early adversity, but if the lights don't go out and they don't stop the fight early, he's got a real good shot in that one. So I'm going with Billy Goff. Next one, we got Song Kenan facing off against Rolando Bedoya. Another one where a little bit of recency bias. Kenan looked not great against Ian Gary, even though he did drop him late in the first round in that fight with that nice left hook. The volume was just too much for Kenan. Ian Gary being in his face, the forward pressure really got to him. Rolando Bedoya in his fight with Chaos Williams really surprised some people as a huge underdog, almost a 3-1 underdog. Good volume was in Chaos Williams' face, mixing it up to all levels. Was able to take a shot from a very big power puncher like Chaos Williams. So that was encouraging to see. And he wasn't afraid to put himself in the line of fire, stand in that pocket and trade. So good on Rolando Bedoya. His stock definitely went up from that split decision loss. Kenan coming off back-to-back losses, Max Griffin and Ian Machado Gary, two very worthy opponents. Definitely two tough guys in the division. I'd say in this one, I mean, Bedoya, you're looking at close to a 3-1 favorite, where Kenan, you could probably get him right around plus 200, plus 220, depending on the book. It's tough. I do think it's another one where Kenan shouldn't be counted out, but if you look at his past fight with Ian Gary and the style that Bedoya is going to bring, where he's going to march forward, he's going to be he's going to be mixing it up. He's going to be throwing in that volume. I mean, Kenan can hit him with a hard shot, but if he doesn't drop him, I mean, he's really dependent on that one solid shot to land. If not, he's just going to be eating a ton of volume, and he's going to lose a pretty easy decision to Rolando Bedoya. I'm going to go with Bedoya in this fight. I don't have a wager on it because the odds are a little cooked, and Kenan is always dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Bedoya, but like I said, no wager. Next fight, we got Michelle Olajaychuk facing off against Chidi Njokuani, which should be a great fight. I actually have a hot take on this fight. Two of these guys are strikers, both of them finishers. Olajaychuk, that southpaw stance, primarily boxing, not much kicking, but he's going to be in your face. He's going to cut down range, and he's going to prevent you from getting those kicks off like a long-rangey striker that Chidi Njokuani is. He's going to be looking to land those kicks, especially to the body early, to try to wear on you, open up his hands. Olajaychuk negates that very well. He gets in close. He's constantly looking to land that left hand, good straight shots, and when you're working your way on the outside and evading left to right, he can clip you with a hook. And he has just interesting ways that he can enter the pocket and kind of catches you off guard because it's a little unorthodox when you think that you're out of trouble, but he still finds a way to get to you and square you up and land shots. I think in this fight, I mean, both guys are fairly durable. The big kryptonite for them is grappling. And Njokuani can tire out, but it's another one where it's situation dependent. Like, you really have to be grappling hard with Njokuani, and even then he can pretty much withstand it. I think against Gregory Rodriguez, the real thing was he was going for a finish, and that really just, emptied the gas tank for him. And it was tough for him to climb back. Olajaychuk, if you can get him to respect you and land a few heavy shots like Bukauskas and Dustin Jacoby did, and show that you're not going to go away and break, he will back off a little bit, and then he'll turn more to, mixing in the wrestling and also trying to, eke out a decision, so to speak. But he understands when it's time to play the long game as opposed to continuing to empty the gas going for a finish. So good fight IQ for Olajaychuk there. My hot take on this fight is I really do think this is going to go to a decision. I think we're going to end up with a pretty interesting first, but when both guys get the respect and they earn it, it's going to turn into a back and forth point fight. Still going to be interesting, but I don't think we're going to get the highlight reel knockout because both guys are really durable. So I'm looking at the over in this fight. I don't have a side, but the odds are pretty much even. A little bit of steam on Olajaychuk. Wouldn't even call it steam. I'd say about 5 to 10 cents movement towards him. So he's minus 120 and Njokuani plus 100. If I had to make a pick on the fight, I'm probably going to go with Michelle Olajaychuk to eke out a decision, but really looking at the over 1.5 for a bet. Haven't pulled the trigger yet. Next fight, we got Toshiyama Kazama facing off against Garrett Armfield. Interesting fight. Not really clash of styles, but I'd say Armfield's more well-rounded. Kazama's more wrestling and jiu-jitsu dependent. And his last fight against Nakamura, he came out trying to bang, which I thought was kind of a good game plan to try to earn some respect, but not a great game plan to just hang out in the pocket and get drilled. And he ended up getting drilled, got dropped, got knocked out cold. And yeah, I thought it was, you got to earn the respect, but at the same time, you don't want to hang around too long. So he got touched up in his last outing. I don't think it's going to be the same game plan here. I think he's going to be looking to work the grappling early and often against Armfield. I think Armfield's the better striker out of the two. I like the shots that he throws. I like the variety that he throws as well. I like the combinations. And I think he's going to be able to touch Kazama, who's going to be trying to force the grappling most of the fight. So in this one, I'm going to side with Garrett Armfield. Don't really have a strong opinion on either fighter. I'm actually staying away from this fight, which is why there really is a lack of an in-depth analysis. I'm not going to lie to you too much. Have not looked into this fight too much, so I wouldn't take my opinion on it very heavily, just because I'm pretty much wrote off betting it early on in the week. So Armfield, as far as the odds are concerned, he's right around minus 170. He's minus 155 right now. Kazama's right around plus 130, plus 135. So a little bit of money coming towards him. But I'm going to go with Garrett Armfield because I think he's more well-rounded. I think he's got a good shot at winning just based on the damage and volume that he's going to provide in the striking area. Moving on, we got Waldo Cortez Acosta facing off against Lucas Brzeski. Facing off against Lucas Brzeski. I mean, in this one, Waldo Cortez Acosta, another guy, boxing, heavy on that front foot. De Lima had a great game plan to chop that out from under him in his last fight and ended up taking the O from Cortez Acosta and ended up winning that fight. I really do think that's a game plan for Waldo moving forward. If you're looking to not a game plan for Waldo, but a game plan for his opponents moving forward, to really chop that leg because he's so heavy on it, trying to land those boxing combinations that it's just going to be there all day, and he doesn't check leg kicks. Brzeski is a big leg kicker, mixes it up, good attacks to all areas. Last time out against Carl Williams, kind of got wrestled into an oblivion. He did get dropped in that fight, though, as well. But he showed that he's got resiliency, and he's going to be there till the very end of the fight. I thought he won his fight against Martin Boudet, and I was really surprised to get the result for Boudet in that fight. I actually had Boudet, and I was just absolutely shocked when they read the scorecards. I thought he outvolumed him, thought he did more damage, and yeah, I thought he was just all around the better fighter in that performance. So Bresky looking to get back on the saddle. Waldo's was pretty steamed. I mean, he was like minus 250, minus 260. He's hanging out right around minus 205 as it stands. Bresky's right around plus 180 as it stands right now. So money coming in on him because the line was just too wide. I think Bresky has a shot in this one, but I think Waldo's boxing is going to be just a little bit too much for him. I think if Bresky can work in the calf kick and keep the volume upstairs to match Waldo, I think he's got a shot. But I think it's just going to be a simple situation of, yeah, Waldo's going to get chopped down below the belt line, but at the same time, he's going to be landing more shots to Bresky's face. Bresky's going to be wearing the damage more. And in a fight, punches to the face are a lot more valuable than kicks to the calf. That's just the way it is. A bruise doesn't look that bad on the calf, but black eyes and a bloody nose look real bad on the face. So I'm going to go with Waldo in this one as my pick, but I don't have a bet on it. Next fight, we got Junior Taffa versus Parker Porter. This is another interesting fight because Junior Taffa got wrestled into an oblivion by Muhammad Usman his last time out. And Parker Porter got dropped and knocked out cold by Junior Taffa's brother, Justin Taffa, his last time out. So Parker Porter looking for some revenge on the Taffa family here. Not sure if he's going to get it, though. Taffa showed good takedown defense in the first round of the Usman fight, and he almost had him out of there and had him hurt towards the end of that round. He didn't get taken down at all in the first. Second and third, kind of gassed out. I think he blew his load in his debut. Just kind of gassed himself out. But he's got a great kickboxing background. Showed a lot of good dirty boxing inside in the clinch when he was able to get out of the clinch. I will admit that it was a problem for him trying to work out of that clinch. Most of the first round was spent in that clinch. But when he did, he landed good elbows, good short punches, and rocked Usman. I think if Parker Porter does the same game plan, he's probably not going to rush in like he did against his brother Justin and get clipped, but he's going to be looking for the same game plan to try to close the distance, get it in a clinch, and then eventually get the double leg, get it down to the ground where he can lay on him and kill some time, get some top control, and win a decision. But I think in this one, I got to go with Junior Taffa. The odds are pretty close, and I like his finishing equity in this fight. I think if he can keep it standing for any long duration of time, he's faster, he's the better kickboxer. He's got levels to his game on the feet. And I just think it's going to play out there long enough for him to be able to get the finish. So I got him at minus 120, closer to when the line opened earlier in the week. He's closer to minus 142 right now. If you like him, Porter on the comeback plus 120. But going with Junior Taffa. Aaron Blanchfield versus Talia Santos. Another interesting fight. This is probably going to be for the next title shot for flyweight, I would imagine. A lot of people love Aaron Blanchfield, love her game. I mean, she is a finisher. She's a great wrestler, great jiu-jitsu when she can get it down to the ground. You know, that one shot, one kill. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, once she goes for a submission, she knows when it's locked in and you normally cannot get out of it. Talia Santos, on the other hand, good Muay Thai striker. Definitely give her the edge on the feet in this fight. Has shown really good takedown defense and really good scrambling ability in her past couple fights, especially against Valentina Shevchenko the last time out. Some of the grappling exchanges, I mean, she almost won every single one of them early on. Then after the clash of heads that ended up busting up her eye, was a different story. But early on in that fight, she did show really good prowess on the mat. And I really like her in the clinch. She lands devastating knees. She throws hard. She's got pinpoint accuracy. And Aaron Blanchfield, I mean, she's got good volume on the feet. The stand-up's coming a long way. She kind of keeps her hands extended, which blocks some punches. But at the same time, I go back to the J.J. Aldridge fight where she just looked horrible in the first round. Aldridge was able to defend the takedowns and pretty much control the fight in the first. And then in the second, it was kind of much more of the same until Blanchfield was able to grab that neck and finish off that submission via guillotine. So in this one, it's going to be tough. I don't know if she's going to be able to get Talia Santos down. I know a lot of people really do like Blanchfield's wrestling, but I really do like Talia Santos' chances in this fight, especially coming off of almost winning a title against Shevchenko. She's 19-2, fought a decent level of competition. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but I think she showed in her past fight that she can keep the fight where she needs it to be in order to win. And not only that, but I've seen Erin Blanchfield get taken down before. Talia Santos has a very good takedown accuracy, well over 50% in the UFC. She times them well. She can get you down to the mat, so she can really mix it up as well. So in this fight, I'm going to go with the underdog, Talia Santos. Got her at plus 125. She's hovering right around there. There's been some buyback on Erin Blanchfield. Wouldn't be surprised if the line moves against me, but it still doesn't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to take Talia Santos. I got 1 unit on her at plus 125. Moving on, we got Rinya Nakamura facing off against Fernie Garcia. Rinya Nakamura, just world-class wrestler, extremely heavy-handed, 7-0, huge prospect. Fernie Garcia fighting out of Fortis MMA. Normally great boxing on the outside. Good lateral movement. He struggles with the takedowns. And when he gets taken down, he gets held down, much like it did in the He-Stand fight. That's how he ended up losing this decision. A lot of people have Nakamura winning this inside the distance. I think if Nakamura is going to do it inside the distance, he's going to have to work in his takedowns. He's going to have to stay heavy on top, and it's either going to be ground and pound or a submission. I think Fernie's getting a little disrespected with the odds. He's like plus 500. Nakamura is pushing like minus 1,000 at this point, close to minus 800, minus 900. I honestly don't know. Haven't really looked too much into this fight because the odds are so ridiculous. But I do know that I like Nakamura, but I think if anyone's going to put together a good game plan to win a fight like this, it's going to be Saif Saud and Fortis MMA. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fernie's on the outside moving, makes it tough for Nakamura and just mixing in that volume, making it a little bit tough. But I think once Nakamura gets into the ground, I think it's going to be over fairly quick. So I'm going to go with Rinya Nakamura in that fight. Next fight, we got Giga Chikadze versus Alex Caceres. Another one, I think the better kickboxer is Chikadze, but I think Caceres can mix it up, and he is awkward, so wouldn't be surprised if he's able to land a few takedowns, mix in his jiu-jitsu, and really make a case for himself in this fight. Giga's a pretty heavy favorite in this. I think he's well over minus 200. The website's not showing the odds, but I know that Caceres is a fairly big underdog. As far as, the style, I think Giga can work the body. Caceres leaves himself open. You look at the Seung-Woo Choi fight, in his past performances. I mean, he's just open to getting hit at all levels, like below the belt, above the belt. I think Chikadze can really have a field day if he works the outside and just stays disciplined, can fend off the takedowns. I don't see a way that he loses this fight. It's going to be a tough one for Caceres, but I never count Bruce Leroy out. He's going to be there till the very end. I got this one going to a decision. I don't see a finish in it. I actually believe the finishing equity is probably on Caceres' side. He might be able to get a submission if he gets it down to the ground against Giga, but I think Giga is going to be able to mix it up with his kickboxing to all levels, work the body, and just really hurt Caceres over and over. I don't think he's going to get the finish, but I think he's going to come pretty close. So I'm going to go with Giga Chikadze in that one. Next fight, Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. The rematch we didn't know that we needed. First time out, Anthony Smith dropped Ryan Spann twice and finished him by rear naked choke. This time out, coming off a couple of losses for Anthony Smith, did not look great against Johnny Walker, did not look great against Magomed Ankalaev. And Ryan Spann, his last time out, looked like a world beater against Dominic Reyes. And then his last time out, he got grappled pretty heavily by Nikita Krylov and finished early in that fight. So this one, a lot of people like Spann, but I'm not a huge Ryan Spann guy. I think he's got a weak chin. I think he has a pretty horrible game plan. He doesn't kick the legs. And against Anthony Smith, if there's one path to victory that you have against Anthony Smith, it's going to be to chop the legs. And Ryan Spann has thrown one leg kick in all 12 of his UFC fights. He fights out of Fortis MMA. If there's one person to be able to put together a game plan, like I said in the last breakdown for Rinya Nakamura, it's Saif Saud. But I don't think he's going to turn Ryan Spann into a kickboxer when he's had the opportunity to evolve his game over all these years, and he's just chosen to only use his hands. So I like Anthony Smith's chances a lot in this one. I think if he's able to stay heavy on that front foot, doesn't have to worry about leg kicks, doesn't have to worry about checking them, he's going to have a lot of success on the feet when it goes to the ground. I mean, he's already showed that he's a level up from Ryan Spann as far as the grappling is concerned, and he should have success. I'm surprised he's an underdog. I got him at plus 125. He's now plus 108. A little bit of buyback on Ryan Spann. Everyone thinks he's going to knock him out, But Anthony Smith is fairly durable in his own right when he's not breaking his legs and when people aren't kicking his legs. So I'm going to go with Anthony Smith in that matchup. That leads us to our main card, Korean Zombie versus Max Holloway. This is going to be a tough one for Chan Sung Jung. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Max Holloway, super durable, really good boxing, really good volume, just beats you up, and he does so over the course of 5 rounds. Chan Sung Jung, the last time out, it just did not look good against Alexander Volkanovski. He looked old. He looked like he had a step slow. He's just a step slower. He's got the reach advantage in this one, but a lot of people have the reach advantage against Max Holloway. That's nothing new there. It's just going to be a tough one for Chan Sung Jung. I mean, he can try to get the grappling going, but Max Holloway's got excellent takedown defense. I mean, you saw it against Arnold Allen, and you've seen it time and time again in these fights. I mean, he's able to keep it standing, and when it's standing, it's really hard to bet against someone being able to win a striking match against Max Holloway. Unless your name is Alexander Volkanovski, you're probably not going to win a striking match against Max Holloway. So, short and sweet on this one. I got Chan Sung Jung maybe trying to mix in the grappling, but I got Max Holloway pretty easily in this fight, and the odds reflect that, close to minus 800. Korean Zombie, if you're going to take a flyer on him, plus 500, but this might be a retirement fight for Chan Sung Jung. But I've seen crazier things in MMA before, so you never know. But I'm going with Max Holloway. That's the whole card. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was... well, I hope this audio works because I got to double check it. But yeah, again, follow your boy Bobby Bets Fights, Twitter, Instagram, betmma.tips. Hopefully we cash some tickets, get back off the schneid because your boy needs to see green. It has been demoralizing the last couple of weeks. So Bobby Bets Fights signing off. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Have a good one.